Welcome to the first block of the prepare to play phase. So this block is a bit larger than the normal, so it's a block itself, but it's now a 4-week block, so it's a bit longer. This is to accommodate your introduction back to full training, and obviously with the games coming up, we don't want to have too many new things happening in your schedule already, so there's a bit of consistency now for this 4-week block. On the strength and power unit, which we're going to discuss today, we're now onto more of a strength and power hybrid, if you like. So there's going to be a mixture of strength training here, or your typical strength training, and a little bit more of power work also as well. The exercises are a bit less now, so we only have 5 exercises. The reps and sets we put on, but the rep range is now a bit lower, so 6 reps on most of the exercises, but some of them are a little bit less. But we'll put all that stuff on the PDF as well to accompany these videos. So the first exercise is a back squat. Now, you may or may not have the luxury of a back squat, but we're hoping now gyms are going to be open very soon and you might have access to this. So we're going to talk about it if you do. If you don't, there's also the option of just doing a goblet squat. You know, the typical goblet squat where the weight's close to your chest and then you're squatting down. Absolutely fine. It's just maybe easier to load up this exercise on a barbell, because 40 kg holding is very difficult and a lot easier to hold 40 kg on the barbell across your back. So let's talk about the setup here. So it's very important that we get things right. You can see on the barbell here, you've got knurlings, you've got this marking here on the grid. And some of you know this already, but there's no harm in going over the safety. Just make sure there's a guideline thumb from the knurling, and then you can go under the grip, and the same here. What you don't want here is like a bias grip. So you're preloading one side more than the other. So if you set up inside, so get on that grip, thumb across, and then over here. Now you create a bit of a shelf, a muscular shelf here by getting the shoulders back, so where the bar sits on. So this bar sits here in the cervical spine, and create a bit of a shelf by getting your shoulders back, and then you can take a step out from the rack, and then starting from the feet upward. So the feet should be about hip width apart. A lot of people talk about a 10 to 2 position, or between there and straight is roughly what we're talking about here. Nothing too exaggerated, or certainly nothing internal in this position. And the weight distribution now is at the midfoot, and it's going to travel back towards the back foot, and that'll allow you to squat down without going onto your kind of tiptoes, if you like. So you're sitting back into the movement. And before we descend, we take a big deep breath. That's just to brace all the musculature around the core, if you like. Keep a good honest position here, and then look forward, chest upright. And when you get to the bottom of the squat, and as you're ascending upwards, then you can release the breath to take out all that tension that you've built up to allow you to get into a good range. So we're going to go through the exercise here, straightforward as before. So sitting back into it, you've held your breath, now exhale, and then drive up. Nice controlled pattern on the way down, keeping your chest upright, sitting back, the weight now is to the heels, and then you're pushing up through the movement. So now it's 6 repetitions on this one, so maybe you can go a little bit heavy, or if it's your first time doing a back squat in a long time, then don't, just build your way up into it. But you can start now sort of loading up this exercise in a safe way, and you've been through the process of to get to this point. 6 repetitions here, and then rack it, and then rack it safely, and then step away. Now at home, select your own weight, whatever you think is appropriate for you. Whether you can just go bar is fine if you've not done anything in a while, or you might put on a little bit of load on here. And as I said, there's a goblet squat if you don't have the weight at home. And look, if you don't have weight at all, it's your tempo through a bodyweight squat if you have to do that. Okay, the next exercise is a single arm snatch, right? So you need a dumbbell for this. Unfortunately, if you don't have weight at home, it's going to be difficult, but maybe even a milk carton or something like that, just to you need some force to decelerate here, unfortunately. So make sure you have something at home. So it's quite, like, the snatch is quite a good exercise and a difficult technical exercise to do on the barbell, but on a dumbbell it's less technical in many ways, but the same principles apply. So you'll catch it quite low, you'll pick it up quite low into a squat position. And as you extend up, I want you to almost think like you're taking off your t-shirt, you're ripping the shirt off yourself almost, so you're scraping it up the body, not fully scraping it, but that's the idea, that's the coaching point. It's coming up the body, this is not out in front. So if I'm from the side and I squat down, I'm keeping the bar close to the body, taking off the t-shirt, and then it extends over my head, basically is what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's do 6 reps each side. So good squat position, drive up with the hips, extend over your head, and then lower it again safely. Extend up overhead, and then catch it over the ear, if you like, a little bit out over the right ear or the left ear. Good. driving up through the hips and extend. That's it, that's it. Yep. And then the opposite side, you obviously do your left and right. Good, catch it overhead. Good. Good. And you'll want a bit of weight here to overcome that inertia, because it might feel a little bit heavy, but as you're kind of generating the force, there's force now and there's momentum in the weight as you're coming up through the body. So you'll be able to probably lift in this motion more than you would just press overhead, because of the momentum in the dumbbell and catching overhead. Just make sure it's safe. If you have any shoulder issues and all that, maybe start some light work and just make sure that you're able to catch it over here. But it should be a fairly safe exercise to use at home, as long as you got a decent squat position and as long as you can add something overhead, you should be fine with this exercise. Okay, now we're going into, it is similar in ways to this, but it's now a push press into a catch position, right? But for the purpose of the video, so you can all see, we're just going to ask subject to come around in front, yeah. And then so it's catching it in a front squat position here, as opposed to, but if you're in a rack, you'd obviously do it in towards the wall, just so we can see everything that's going on. Again, as I said before, similar catch to the back squat, make sure it's an even knurling on the bar, and then catch it in that front squat position, then walk out of the cage. Then it's going to be a little dip down, drive, the head obviously going to come out of the way, it's going to be overhead, but as that's all happened, simultaneously you're going to split your feet and catch in this position. Now, the split your feet is, imagine a cross underneath your feet, so your one foot is going to go forward to the left and one foot is going to go behind to the right, so you're splitting yourself in that kind of diag position, if you like. Yep, so when you're ready, driving over your feet, that's perfect, good, catch and then come forward, yeah. So start quite lightweight here, so try and get some power into it and get the movement right. Make sure you can decelerate the bar and you can get into that split squat position without falling over. Good. And 6 repetitions here now. So what I want you to do is 3 with your left foot forward and 3 with your right foot forward also. So you're going to have to mix it up on the repetition. So it's just 6 altogether, but 3 left and 3 right on the leading foot. Good. Good, last one. Good. And then return the bar safely, just walking back, just make sure, obviously when you do this you'll be facing forward, and the reason why you face forward is to return the rack, because if you've got a bit of weight in this, trying to walk backwards with weight is not very safe, so make sure you're facing into the bar when you're doing this, or into the cage when you're doing this at home or in your gym. That's good. So there are the exercises there. Now we move on to the next one. We're going to go in now to our Nordics. Just make sure you have something kind of soft for the knees if you're going to be doing this. So we're going to use a bit of a foam thing here. We're going to go on side on. So again, you're going to need a partner for this exercise. Come up to the mat. And again, the partner is just going to hold down the feet, and you, as the person doing it, is going to try and maintain a good posture throughout the movement. No arch into the spine, or trying not to break too much at the hips. So keep that posture for as far forward as you can go, and just practice these over time. Now we're on to 3 repetitions. The last block was 2. We're now on to 3. So again, I'll hold down. We're not going to do 3 today. We're just going to show you 1 or 2 reps. So keeping that good posture, and then catch yourself just before the end. And then you come up again. I hold down. Just make sure you got someone to hold your feet, or something to hold your feet. Yep. And then you come up. Okay, so throughout that move, he's got a very good posture. Everything's quite straight. There's not too much arching of the back, or too much flexing forward of the hips. So that's good. And then we go on to our drop jumps, right? So drop jumps here is going to be, we'll go on this one. So drop jumps here, so we're now on a predetermined height, right? So we know what the height of the box is. I would say something like 30 centimeters at home. I mean, a bench like this will be too tall for me, I think, or too tall to begin with. Something a little bit, around mid-shin height would be appropriate to go off the box, okay? So we're going to drop off. Now, how we drop off is important. We want to drop off from this height. We don't really want to start going into the floor and then dropping off. So you can hop off it, or you can drop off on one leg, whatever technique you want to use, but try and make sure the jump and the drop off is from this height. Okay, so off we go. So we're dropping down, and then we're jumping up. Now, There's a few things here. What's important is the hands, so our hands are gonna come with us on the way down and then hopefully come with us on the way up. And two major things, we want the height to be as high as possible, but we also want the contact to be as low as possible. So if you try a few more. Good, perfect, yeah, we'll do one more, so that's even better. That was better than the first one. So dropping off, just gain your confidence on this and then generate the force coming up again. Good. Now, this phase is a little bit different to all the other phases that we've done. There's going to be a bit more rest time in between these because we want real high quality in all the movements. We don't want to rush these in a circuit. So the way I want you to do these exercises is do your 1 and your 3 sets of 1. So for instance, going back to the back squat, do your back squat, 3 sets, have your rest in between, do each one, 6 reps, then rest, and then move on to the next exercise, rather than maybe in the past we've been kind of doing a more of a circuit-based movement, maybe because we're based at home also, but now we're in the gym and we have to make use of the space effectively. So that's one thing, but also we want a different strength adaptation from these. So it's a bit more rest time. There's a little less volume in terms of the exercises and the repetitions, but there is a far more intensity to the exercises as well. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Remember, it's a 4-week block, so continue these, keep practicing these. You might add some load as you feel confident and as the exercise competency is there. Hope you enjoy it. Stay safe and keep training and keep the consistency up, even though you're back full training now. See you again soon.